Welcome back to the coverage of YCS Bochum 2018, where we're now looking at the last round of Swiss. 1,951 players showed up yesterday bright and early, and only 32 will remain after this round. Two of those guys, one of those seats is up for grabs between the match. We got Adrian Labrador Fonoloso, if I'm not mistaken, and he's going up against Ryan Jacobs, the fan favorite who's usually actually working in the feature match area, has got huge sideburns, sometimes cosplays as Yugi. I can just go on. The list of things to say about Ryan just goes on and on and on.
Yeah, he's very well known. He usually dresses up as Yugimoto whenever we're in MCM as well. I
actually double-checked if we had two players in the venue with the name Ryan Jacobs when I saw that Ryan was doing so well. This is how... This is what I was expecting his performance to be.
Yeah.
But you proved me wrong. You looked at his performances, and it seems like they're quite good, actually.
Yeah, so the stats I've been giving for, if we've not explained it already, I'm sure you have, but it's the Tier 2 events, so regionals and YCSs, ever since Utrecht. So, yeah, he actually has a 68%, 69% win ratio over those tournaments, which is really good.
Yeah.
That's actually really, really good.
That's some high-class stuff. And you have to add that Ryan is very often playing weird decks. He's not always going there to win.
Yeah.
Sometimes like, yeah, I'm going to play my beloved... what is
gadgets.
Gadgets.
He plays gadgets all the time.
He loves gadgets. This weekend, however, he said, okay, I'm going to be serious this weekend. I'm going to write down my deck list prior to the tournament, have this nicely printed out. For event, I'm going to enter YCS McRib, which is an inside joke in the judge team, and they are correct. And he's playing Trickstar this weekend, so he is a bit more serious.
Yeah.
His opponent.
On the other side, we see Adrian's deck. He's playing the Lightsworn zombie grass deck that we've seen sending huge numbers of cards to the grave and pulling off some very long first turns.
Right.
To put up some formidable boards.
The unofficial record so far was 32 cards for Samir Pashe.
Yes. We see again here the Naturia Beast and the Saryuya, so it will remain to see what he summons turn one.
It's going to be interesting if he's going to go there.
We actually have his win rate as well. It's much lower than Ryan's. It's 53%.
Okay, so this is the first time ever that Ryan Jacobs is in a feature match, and he's considered to be the favorite.
Yeah, it is over less events though. So.
No, let's not go away from that. I don't want to distract from this. Guys, we sat down some of the best players that are playing this game. They explained these two decks and, of course, the matchup for you guys. So let's bring that on and hear from the pros.
60-card Lightsworns is, on the one hand, is really powerful. On the other hand, it's a 60-card deck that heavily relies on seeing certain cards and especially also seeing them resolve, like the Predator Plant, Brilliant Fusion, Left Arm Offering, and that grass looks greener. And you also, of course, at the same time, you cannot draw the requirements of these cards that you're running in your deck, like Garnet or the bad Predator Plant. If you draw those, your deck is significantly worse. And but yeah, if it sees those cards and is not stopped by a hand trap, it's a really strong deck. But that is also only really true when it goes first. When it goes first, it's like one of the most scary decks in the format, because if you don't draw the right hand trap to stop it, which is pretty much Ash, then it can do insane stuff to you. But if it goes second, you have a decent chance of setting up something that can prevent their turn. Like Pendulum can set up Vortex or Dweller. Other decks can set up certain things like Reincarnation face down or Masterpiece on the board, stuff like that, where it's a lot harder for a Lightsworn to get through. But it's definitely very strong and scary going first.
So Trickstar remained in the meta as everyone expected. It didn't get any hits on the ban list. The deck is still going quite strong, but in my opinion, to be honest, I would shy away from it now, because like Spiral was a favorable matchup because the hand traps were just really impactful. Spiral was kind of fragile in the way that like hand traps really disrupted them in a way that their main combo wouldn't work, and they only play towards that. Well, like now these general hand traps like Ash and Ogre just take away splits of the Pendulum combo, and you can just use them on like individual cards that advance their game state. Well, like you can't really completely stop their turn one, and they can also just play in a way where they just float around your weak monsters and never open the board up for you to get damage. On the plus side, Trickstar has really good rogue matchups now. It's like Invoked, ABC, all these matchups, hand traps are still insane against. Reincarnation is a really good card against them. And the searchable Reincarnation, of course, is still a big strength of the deck. Using Scapegoat and Link Mechanic, and now also being able to make Sayuya to draw into more backup cards if you need them, is like the deck really is still in a strong position, but the problem I see is just that overall its Magician matchup is really unfavorable. And the next problem is like the turn 1 setup is problematic against decks that don't really struggle against hand traps because the deck doesn't offer much as setup disruption, while other decks can establish big monsters who negate or disrupt stuff in your opponent's turn. So I personally don't see Trickstar being in that big of a spot, but I'm sure a lot of people will still play it and it will do well overall.
The Trickstar deck versus the Lightsworn deck is a matchup of whoever can break through to make a board first. The Trickstar deck can't really deal with any of the beat sticks that the grass deck can put up. So the Trickstar deck's main win condition is by using the hand traps to stop the grass deck from playing, and then beating them fast with cards that they're spamming with Candinas, and then cards like Scapegoat and Eater Millions. If the grass deck is able to establish the board, though, it's unlikely that the Trickstar deck can win. Post-siding, nothing really changes. There aren't many side deck cards that can just shut down the grass deck. Like Dimensional Barrier isn't nearly as effective as Webweaver's Pendulum. However, the grass deck isn't able to put up recurring beaters like the Pendulum deck can. So sometimes an Eater Millions is enough to clear the beaters, and Trickstar can sometimes win.
All right, guys, I feel like you know everything you need to know about this particular matchup. Two things we noticed while listening to the pros. Ryan is not playing Sayuya. He's like, no, I don't need this card. Either I already have everything on the field. I don't want to be tempted to go for something else, like some players this weekend. And the other thing you pointed out, Thomas, he's playing Honest.
Yes, 2 copies of Honest in the main deck for Ryan, and that can mitigate the real struggle that Trickstars have with dealing with monsters that have more than 1,800 attack points.
Yeah, a lot of Trickstars decided just Eater of Millions will do. That's enough. But
Ryan has a plan B.
Yeah, I think actually people played Honest initially when Trickstars came out because we didn't have Eater of Millions, or people didn't figure out one of the two. Right. And then people were like, okay, let's get rid of Honest, let's just play Eater of Millions. And Ryan has decided, no, I need both. This is a big enough issue. Going to commit 4 cards to it.
Or possibly just diversifying that coping strategy to have more options for playing around particular counters.
Yeah.
Right. All right, guys, we're going to see how that plays out for Ryan, if his plan B is going to kick in. Let's take you to the feature match table, the last round of Swiss. Here's the die roll. 9 from Adrian. We didn't see Ryan's die
Ryan rolled just a 4, so Adrian will be able to choose to play first.
That's way below average. And good. So Lightsworn Zombie Grass, as we learned by Joshua Schmidt, very scary deck, despite playing 60 cards, if it finds the right cards.
Particularly when it's going first. As we see here, it will be interesting to see how many and which hand traps Ryan has picked up in those opening 5.
Ryan's only got 1 monster in his hand. The rest are amazing going first cards. He had a Galaxy Cyclone and then 2 traps. Which Solemn Strikes.
Cosmic Cyclone, surely.
I keep saying Galaxy Cyclone. Yeah, Cosmic Cyclone. There's too many Cyclones.
So no hand traps for Ryan, no interaction on his opponent's turn. That means that Adrian is feeling free to do whatever he desires. Starts with a lone Fire Blossom. I think this is a pretty good hand.
It's a good hand, but it's not perfect. Opening with the Gem Knight Garnet puts a serious limit on how far this combo will be able to push forward.
Yeah, and the Bulb in hand as well.
The Predator plants, typically used to search for the Brilliant Fusion. They'll still be able to search for Brilliant Fusion, but the Brilliant Fusion won't be able to be activated with the Garnet already out of the deck.
Yeah. Is he playing Instant Fusion?
I don't believe so. Most of them aren't.
I don't remember writing it down, because we had to translate the deck list from Spanish and sometimes German and sometimes English into English. And when I say translate it from English into English, I mean weird handwriting into actual English. No, it's fine. It's not that bad. Don't take it to heart.
We do actually see a Charge of the Light Brigade and a Solar Recharge in hand, though.
Yeah,
and
that's
that,
nice.
if it's able to find a Fairy Tale Snow, is just going to bring so many new cards into the game, and that number of resources can be very powerful.
All right, let's see. Ryan, it's really odd. Like, if he went first, this would have been a really good hand.
Yeah.
So he's forced to watch, biding his time. And what is the card you least want to see if you're the Trickstar player? Except for that grass looks greener, maybe.
Soul Charge would be the second biggest power card, I suppose, or possibly just left arm into the grass. But we may, of course, see that with 2 new draws yet to come for Adrian.
Yeah, he's reduced his deck down, though, to the point where grass looks green is probably not going to be that effective.
Good point, yeah. Just going to go the alternative route.
Yeah.
It's just going to take a little bit longer, but he's also going to get
milling.
there. Yeah, manual milling.
As opposed to the automatic version.
There was a time when milling was considered, like, really, really bad. But that was also, like, when Mitsuki was the only graveyard effect.
Yeah.
Pretty much, except for maybe Sangan. Yeah, Sangan, Necrogardener. But stuff like you had to banish from the graveyard to get the effects.
Yeah.
So we see here Adrian maybe trying to work his way into Curious. He has the glow-up bulb in his graveyard. He has 2 Warrior Earths on the field. And he finds the Fairy Tale and the Spirit Master.
Oof.
That was close to perfect on the mills there. He now has a piece of interaction on the snow and also the ability to destroy a face-up card when he summons it by banishing that Spirit Master in his grave. I think Adrian is very well set up here.
Yeah, Wilhelm Jen would be proud.
Wow.
That was a headshot if I've ever seen one.
I'm
And milling
stunned.
the Trick Clown with the glow-up bulb. That will not only summon the Trick Clown to his field, but it also... oh, no, sorry. He already has the Thousand Blades on field. He didn't link it away for the Mrs. Radiant, not needing space for Brilliant Fusion in this play.
Yeah.
So he could have had an extra link there if he'd put the Thousand Blades into his grave first, but not needing Seraphonite, he opted not to consolidate earlier.
Let's be fair, it didn't want to play around the fact that he may mill the Trick Clown off glow bulb. He'd already used quite a lot of luck at that turn.
At this point, he has to...
if luck was a resource that is running out, he would be very low on it right now.
Exactly. Oh, it's happening again.
Oh, no.
That was such an authentic sigh there.
With options on either Curious or Naturia Beast, he's instead
literally anything else.
To go for Saryuya. This will bring out the ability to activate the Brilliant Fusion by putting back the Garnet, but it still doesn't feel like it's the right route to take. I don't know what Brilliant Fusion's going to achieve here. It'll get him to an Omega with an additional normal summon.
There's gonna be, if Kiwi's watching this back, he's gonna make a mental note for the next tournament when somebody has a good board and he's just gonna summon that Link monster. He's just gonna say, okay, that's a slow play warning. There was nothing you could go to that is better than what you had on the field. I learned this from listening to Thomas in the commentary, who said this card is like very divisive. So no, you're gonna get a slow play warning for dragging out your turn into infinity for no reason whatsoever.
It's just, it's the eternal argument of Peter Griffin. Like you could have this board of amazing monsters, or there could be something else in the box, and he's going with the checking the box.
What's in the box?
Yeah. I'm glad you knew that reference. There could be something else in the box. Maybe even a yacht.
There is a weird game show based on that, where you have this bag of cash, basically, and you can trade it for something else.
Yeah.
And this was basically, the guy had like 500K. There were like 10 more boxes missing. There was only one with 1 million, and everything else was like $10 or something.
I know what you mean. Deal or no deal.
Deal or no deal. And he's like, no deal. I want to get the million.
I want the £1 million box.
Yeah, I want to get
the euro box.
Yeah.
Okay, so if there's a Mizuki already in the grave here,
there is. Yeah, there is.
We will be able to see some decent consolidation actually behind that Saryuya.
Oh.
So you think there's still hope? that this wasn't one of those plays.
There's certainly still plays going on here. The Gozuki being sent to the grave there was actually triggering its own effect on being sent to the grave, banishing another zombie monster to special summon a Mizuki from the hand, bringing out the first Omega.
I love how the Churia Beast just stared at us from the extra deck saying, please, make him summon me. I should have been out already.
Yeah, release the beast.
Yeah. Poor Barkion, he's in the binder. At least Beast gets to sit in the extra deck.
Yeah.
Barkion's sat in the binder at home.
Could be so much worse, yeah.
Oh, Exterior, you don't know where he is. He's definitely not there.
Exterior is just waiting for Cyberstein to come back.
Yeah.
Never again.
Do they not have Cyberstein in the OCG?
I think so.
I would be surprised, but
No, I think it may have come back and then gone again. I can't remember. The only other time I played Exterior was actually in Necros format. I played Phantom of Chaos in my Necros deck.
And you were able to send the Exterior for your Kaleidoscope and then Phantom of Chaos for that effect?
Yeah.
So Adrian is going places here. It doesn't look like those past plays with our favorite card of the weekend with Saryuya. He actually found something.
Yes, absolutely.
And he actually improved his hand like dramatically. Let's also give him that. Let's give some more credit where credit is due.
Yeah. What cards remain in his hand at this point?
He's got Left Arm Offering and Fairy Tale Snow.
Okay, so if he's able to draw a card with Minerva here, he may still be able to get to that Naturia Beast.
Yeah.
And he is able to draw
He
a
just
card.
milled grass, though.
The grass at this point
There's
wouldn't do anything.
Charge of the Light Brigade, I think.
Soul Charge at this point would
Or
be...
was it? Oh, no,
No.
no, the card he drew was Charge of the Light Brigade.
Yeah.
Yes.
Soul Charge would be... He could make another 3 Saryuyas.
So we see banishing the Charge of the Light Brigade.
So at what point?
Searching, I assume, for the Soul Charge.
At what
Yeah.
point is Ryan going to
Wow.
shuffle up here?
I think...
5 minutes ago?
Yeah, I was trying to think of...
Yeah, no.
That's, yeah,
No, I get
5
it.
minutes ago.
We can see the 2 Omegas tag out, and after that, Adrian will still be able to consolidate into an Naturia Beast behind the Saryuya.
And you also have to keep in mind Ryan is now giving away what he's playing. I mean, not necessarily after that Solemn Strike got taken out, but let's say if the Trickstar reincarnation is getting threatened by then. Okay, so far he's good.
I think that's the only card that you could possibly see. So Trickstar Reincarnation, maybe Eater of Millions, but even Eater of Millions could very much be Grand Marshal OTK. So.
Yeah, yeah. But then, as an opponent, you might not assume that somebody with that deck. Oh, by the way, there is the Soul Charge.
Yeah, you got it with left arm off.
With left arm offering. Okay. You might not think that your opponent is X11 with that OTK deck.
True.
Which is an okay assumption.
Yeah.
So at this point, we may see a consolidation into Bujinki Amaterasu and a Naturia Beast.
Oh man, so many consolidations this weekend.
He brings out the full 4 monsters. Options either to go directly to the Naturia Beast and a 2 material rank 4.
Now, in all seriousness, is there anything that Ryan can do to take this, to somehow take this game? Because, I mean, like a board wipe like Raigeki is not going to do anything anymore.
I'm going with no.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that's a fair reply. He's got a Cosmic Cyclone, which is not doing much.
Well, he's going to be able to Eater of Millions at least one of the cards away.
It'll get flipped down by Snow.
Yeah, okay.
We have Snow and Infinity cards in the graveyard, so...
Which is a number.
That's an exact number.
Yeah, so...
I was trying to think of the positives.
So maybe Ryan wants to take the second game, and then he prefers going to time because he can burn through some life points with Trickstar.
If Adrian completely forgets he has Snow, I know he's summoning it right now, but if next turn he has just a sudden lapse in judgment...
If the player has a brain aneurysm, there's still hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the strategies that you're aiming for when you're on that table.
Sometimes you just gotta hope your opponent plays bad.
Or maybe Ryan just enjoys being in the feature match. He's like, I got this. I've seen worse. I've seen comebacks in the feature match.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is it my turn?
So there we see an 11-minute turn 1, and the Bujinki Amaterasu effect will be activated again to get back the Ghost Ogre.
I have to say, it felt a little bit longer than 11 minutes. And Ryan feels like it's time to do some side taking.
At this point, Ryan decides it's over.
I've seen enough from my own deck.
Yeah.
Like I've seen 6.
And I've seen more than enough from yours.
Yeah. Okay, actually, that is a point. He might have actually been trying to get more information about the opponent's deck.
Yeah, I know. I honestly, we are joking about this, about him staying too long, but that's fair, I would say. Because it's, it's not stalling, it's not slow, but it's none of this
I mean,
to be able to sit there and be like, I'm playing a burn deck, okay?
I mean,
I am happy to go to time.
Also, there is the chance that the opponent is playing slow through this entire combo. He might get a warning. I'm not saying this is like your go-to plan in this situation, but you never know what happens.
Yeah, he might just really, really love Firewall Dragon and start randomly consolidating all of these other monsters he has into other Link monsters.
Right.
And
Firewall Pass is a pretty strong play.
Not as strong as Naturia Beast and double all that kind of stuff. Anyway, yeah, but you never know. Your opponent might just completely do away with their own cards. We've seen it happen this weekend already,
we did.
Right?
Some people are greedy. They want to redraw some cards. And they don't even care if they're shuffling back everything they had on the field, basically.
Yeah. I have to admit, I was probably wrong on the Saryuya that game. It looked to me like a really bad time to go for it, but being able to put back that Gem Knight Garnet, turn back the clock on the Brilliant Fusion, it paid off.
Yeah, that was. I think it was super on point to put that back.
So we stand corrected. It's not always just an annoying play. There are valid reasons for including this card in your extra deck.
Yeah,
this is absolution.
Good word.
Possibly more so in the Lightsworn Zombie deck than many others. With cards like Gem Knight Garnet and other things that function in that same way, where they're engine requirements for the deck, but you don't want to draw them. Having the ability to put those back to then use the cards that were prevented from activation earlier can be very strong. But again, you have to have a very good hand to be able to get to Saryuya if you have a handful of bricks at the start of your turn.
Yeah. Well.
I think definitely we can summarize that even if he didn't play Saryuya there, he still had a pretty good turn.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
So Ryan is feeling it. He wants to have that win in the feature match. Also, he wants to advance to the top 32, of course. So it's all about those 5 cards.
I see at least Light Stage, Ghost Ogre, and I think the trap card is Reincarnation.
And for Adrian, there's a gold sarcophagus, but the other cards appear to be slightly hidden.
As a left-arm offering.
That's a fantastic hand for Adrian, but with no hand traps, he has no interaction until it gets to his turn.
So it's all about Ryan's kickoff here. He needs to have something. Needs to go big, or unfortunately, go home. So Adrian's hand is really good.
Right up until it gets all banished with a Trickstar Reincarnation.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a valid play.
Yeah, and if you...
I mean, turnabout is fair play.
Yeah. I would love to see Left Arm Offering be played, and then Ryan just allows it to resolve, and then Trickstar Reincarnation. That would be really good.
That would be something. That would be his stream moment.
Yeah, you're giving up 4 cards. Well, not 4 cards. He's going to play something else before it, but you're giving up most of your hand to play it, and then just disappears.
So Ryan is going to run quickly, though. I saw Terraforming is what I could make out. There were a couple of traps.
Terraforming, Draw and Lockbird, a couple of traps.
Yeah,
he only plays 6.
He only plays Strikes and Reincarnation, unless he's sided into something.
Yeah, Scapegoat, Eater of Millions, I also saw that.
Yep. Okay, there's another Terraforming.
That gets the final light
Yeah,
stage.
3rd light stage.
Yeah, and you can see the veteran moves there. Like, no, I'm not even gonna put the deck down. I'm just gonna continue searching here. And some more searching.
So we see 2 reincarnations and double licorice.
Isn't that enough?
That's a
Oh,
lot of...
only double licorice.
I think it's just 2.
Yeah, okay. Then maybe not enough.
Still going to threaten a lot of damage and massively reduce the power of any grass looks greener play.
Yeah.
So Ryan with 2 face downs, and he passes play. Okay, let's see. Let's see this.
No licorice summoned.
Yeah, I would think right now, because if he just... Well, okay, if he left arm offerings here, then that's fine as well.
Do we have an update on the cards in hand
Yeah.
for Ryan? I thought there were 2 licorice, and...
Yeah,
I
now
feel
we
like-
have. There are 2 licorice, yes.
Yeah, so
And there's
2.
also an honest in hand.
Okay.
I think the horse has bolted here. Ryan's missed his chance.
You think he should have pulled the trigger on that reincarnation?
Possibly.
Interesting that Adrian has chosen to begin his turn by setting 2 cards. That will prevent him from activating left arm offering this turn, I believe. I think there's a piece of text on that card that says that it can't be activated the same turn that you set any cards.
You cannot set spell traps during the turn you activate this card, yes.
Yeah, not a common...
Problem with this card,
yeah.
yeah. It's also, it's not much of an offering if you look at it. It's more like a punishment. It's left arm punishment. It's not like he's freely giving away that left arm.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, no, I think he's getting the treasure box in return for his left arm.
Ah,
It's one of the more grim artworks.
must be some good, some fancy treasure.
But watch in the box!
Exactly.
Okay, what was Ryan's plan going into this?
Well, he's set 2 copies of Reincarnation, so that suggests a line of play designed to play around left arm offering. But we've seen the left arm offering being set, and so it can't be activated this turn, so it's not going to be immediately reacted to.
Yeah, in all honesty, I just thought that Ryan would go for a big chunk of burn damage right from the get-go.
Not just a big chunk of burn damage, but also removing 12 cards from the deck for the Lightsworn zombie player. You can hit key pieces like Garnets or the Predaplant Darlingtonia Cobra. You can reduce the available plays and reduce the strength of grass even if it is drawn.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the play was all during the draw phase there. Just summon the Lycorises and pop those
Just go for it,
reincarnations. Yeah.
And now with Shiranui Solitaire in the grave and Spirit Master in hand, he'll be able to use his additional normal summon on that Spirit Master and get back the Solitaire and really extend the plays here.
Yeah.
Ryan does have a Ghost Ogre to stop things. And he might be hoping for that Honest to put in some work, although I would doubt that at this point already.
I think the Spirit Master will likely deal with
With the monster.
before the turn is out. But then obviously we're going to see Lycoris. But still, I think the horse has bolted already.
I don't know what to expect from this gold sarcophagus here. Probably a giant Rex being the immediate board presence.
Yeah. That's cool. I always loved gold sarcophagus. But yeah, this giant Rex now is just, it's kind of like unexpected die.
But it summons a monster that has an effect.
Yeah, exactly. Even better.
And
well,
you don't have to control no monsters.
Yeah, that's what. It's just a better version of unexpected die.
It's also not very unexpected because it's gigantic dinosaur.
Yeah, and a big box. Have you ever seen how big that box actually is? It's huge.
Oh, uses the extra summon for a Uni zombie here. I feel like a play with the Spirit Master might have been better there. It actually has an effect when it's normal summoned to get back the Solitaire.
Here we see Curious.
He hasn't yet found a snow, so he will now be able to search one.
And he just keeps like working through his deck here.
Yeah.
It's not what we expected. We thought when Ryan goes first, he's going to assemble something that is going to stop his opponent from just working through his deck like that.
We see a real display from Adrian here, just how well this Lightsworn deck can go through cards and fill up the graveyard, even when it doesn't have access to that grass looks greener.
I'm still not to hang on that fact, but I think it's a big factor that, you know, all of these cards may potentially have been banished by reincarnation.
It's always easy to say that.
Yeah.
Sitting on the sideline.
Yeah. That's our job, Ollie.
That is, yeah. It's our job to provide some valuable insights.
Will we see the effect of Gozuki again here? It could special summon that Spirit Master from the hand if he wants another body onto the board immediately.
Some insights into what could have been.
Yeah.
We're just going to spend the next 10 minutes talking about the dreams that have been crushed for Ryan.
Yeah, well, it's still very possible for him to recover here.
He needs to, yeah. He absolutely has to. We want to see that third game. And also, Trickstar is not a fluke.
No.
Like they have some very serious guns.
Yeah, I think a very well-timed Ghost Ogre could very much change.
What synchro will we see?
Michael.
I don't believe that was a legal summon. I think Michael requires a light-type non-tuner.
Yeah, what did he summon that with?
Gozuki.
But Kiwi's already on it.
Wow.
Yeah, Kiwi is lightning fast when it comes to these things. And he's very sarky. He's going to say something like, no, that is not possible. And like in his calm demeanor and everything.
Oh, this is completely thrown a curveball at Adrian here.
He will have access to a level 8 synchro if he discards the Spirit Master.
So there's a question now for the judge.
So there's no cost to discard here. It's an effect that will discard. Ryan may consider interacting with it using his reincarnation, but that would just banish the Spirit Master and trigger its effect immediately.
Ghost Ogre. Oh, what?
Reincarnation is activated, banishing the Spirit Master, triggering its effect. Ryan's just digging himself a deeper hole here.
It's like,
well, at least
it's like a negative combo.
I think it's okay because he can chain the Lycaris.
So he even has the element of surprise working in his favor because his opponent has to read the Trickstars. So he dodged that bullet quite well. Now where to go from here?
I expect to see Adrian going for another level 8. This turn, only zombie monsters are able to attack, as he's used the effect of Uni Zombie to send a zombie from the deck to the graveyard earlier. So he won't be looking to attack over either of the Lycaris. Likely just the second Omega coming down here.
Yep.
Again, must be summoned to a linked zone.
Well, I think the Michael material getting wrong thing has definitely set Adrian off a little bit. What's the stats of Curious?
2,400 attack and obviously no defense.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's almost like a Monarch. Looks a little bit.
It looks like a Monarch. Actually, more looks like the Pope.
So you see the effects of the Omegas in the standby phase, returning a Mizuki and the Spirit Master to the grave.
Yeah, one got Ghost
One
Ogre.
of them being taken down by Ghost Ogre.
Yeah, Light Stage is going to pick apart. See this.
It's locking down the left arm offering, but we know that that left arm isn't likely to get played anyway. It would require at least 2 cards being in hand.
Yep, absolutely. But just for Ryan's, peace of mind, I think he would like to lock that down.
I feel like Adrian has sat here with far more cards in hand than is comfortable for Ryan. Sorry, cards in grave.
Yeah. Ryan needs like to completely blow out his opponent now in this turn. I think this is his last chance, really. I mean, he does have a solemn strike.
I think he's actually in a pretty good spot here.
It's interesting that
after all was said and done during that last turn,
which was a big turn.
Yeah, Ryan's looking pretty good. I don't know whether the very proactive, honest, and getting over curious would be preferable. But Ryan's certainly going to be able to do some damage. I think at this point he's kind of hoping that his opponent plays the Omega and just doesn't hit honest. Okay, I'm going to see those two, the Lycruses turn into Holy Angel.
Ryan does even have access to another extra monster zone in front of Curious, as well as the two that Holy Angel points down to. Trickstar not known for needing a huge number of extra monster zones, but the options are there available.
Ryan just casually playing with his flat cap.
I'm just thinking, is there a way for him to lock his opponent out of the game by getting both of the extra zones?
No, he would have to do extra link. You have to point all the way around to both zones. So.
Right. So it's a lot harder to do than some people think.
Yeah.
Oh, we're just getting a Spanish translation of the Trickstar monster.
Right. Oh, if you're not familiar with those cards, you're gonna get burned.
The Holy Angel not so frequently summoned as the main deck monsters.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
I'm still hoping that Ryan has a plan that he's clinging on to here.
Yeah. This is one of those situations as well. I'm pretty sure Ryan knows Spanish. Ryan knows a lot of languages. I'd be surprised if Spanish wasn't one of them. So even if Adrian's cards are in Spanish, Ryan's not going to need any translations. He's going to be able to deal with that.
Did Ryan study in Spain for a while? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I can't remember. I just know Ryan knows quite a lot of languages.
He's a globetrotter.
Yeah.
Adrian considering a response to this attack from Candina. We know that he has both Spirit Master and Fairy Tale Snow in the graveyard, so he has interaction potentially for both of the monsters already on the field. But he allows Omega to fall, taking out that Honest.
Wow.
Oh, so far so good.
Yeah.
But Honest is gone now, obviously, on one of them.
Yeah.
And now he chooses to bite on the Snow effect, banishing Giant Rex as an extra bit of value, Spirit Master as an extra bit of value, maybe even a Solitaire as well to summon back that Spirit Master. Half of the cards that he's banishing for this Snow effect aren't even really lost resources.
Yeah.
One will be causing a destruction, and two will be summoning new monsters back to his side of the field.
It's like a card with no drawbacks.
Yeah.
It's only upsides to Snow right now.
Once you have the grave set up, yeah, it's all just benefit.
I think Ryan was hoping for something like Grass Looks Greener activation as like the first play or something like that. And then chaining the Trickstar Reincarnations.
Yeah.
Something like that. And he was like so focused on that one game plan that he might have not adapted quick enough.
Yeah.
Maybe that was it.
Yeah, that does happen sometimes where you kind of think, okay, I know exactly when I want my opponent to, when I want to do this, and then you sit and you watch your opponent make like 3 or 4 or 5 moves, and you're like, hold on, he's still not done it.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Damn it, I've missed my opportunity to even make some kind of impact.
Yeah, I feel like something like that might have been the reason.
And we see Ryan just sat there. His board's been torn apart by that Snow effect in graveyard.
Yeah.
And it's not the last time we've seen Snow do that. Very likely, at least. Not the last time. And now Ryan is all out of cards in hand. Everything he's got is on the table. So it's going to be a question of can his opponent deal with it or not. And so far it's looking pretty pretty good for Adrian, who now drew into left arm offering. Not the ideal moment
No.
for that card.
He already has his resources in the graveyard. It doesn't really matter if he hasn't drawn anything effective here. He can summon his Bujinki Amaterasu if he feels the need he wants to. At least one Mizuki left in grave. Some others banished that he would be able to summon back from banished.
Yeah.
Tornado Dragon. This may force the activation of a Solemn Strike.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah.
He's targeting that. If he was losing the reincarnation, then yeah, I think regardless of what he targeted, playing whatever got targeted was beneficial.
Well, Adrian had seen the card closer to the light stage not being activated for the whole of the previous turn.
Mm-hmm.
If a card sat there for 2 players' turns and not done anything, there's a good chance that it's just not going to do anything.
Wow.
But Ryan is not opting to activate it, to chain it.
Yeah, I kind of. Does he want to fuel Snow more?
I think it's more a matter of life points. Ryan's back's against the wall at this point, and
Tornado Dragon has more attack points than the cost of Solemn Strike. So there's. Yeah, it can't come down to life points.
Tornado Dragon has marginally more attack points, but it's also using up one of the extra monster zones right now.
So that could play a role. But even then, it's not looking good for Ryan. I keep repeating myself here.
No, I think this match is well and truly over. I don't see any cards that would be able to bring Ryan back in.
Could have been a very different game if he had kind of taken the risk. Not sure if it's like a real risk, but I'm going for that Trickstar reincarnation like early on, like without thinking twice. Well, hindsight is 20/20, so
yeah,
it's a bit unfair to Ryan. And he came very far with that deck. He only had 1 loss and 1 draw. And I don't think it's the feature match area in his case.
Minerva being summoned here will allow 6 cards to be sent to the graveyard, so really just stocking back up on the cards to banish for future snow effects.
Yeah, so this deck, this just doesn't stop.
No.
Just keeps going.
I think it's safe to say that Adrian here had amazing opening hands in both of these games.
Right. I'm just looking at the top 10 tables, and there's actually not a single Lightsworn zombie grass. It's always it has a lot of Trickstar actually. Invoked Magnite, Pendulum Magician.
Invoked Magnite still at the top.
Yeah, Dinosaur Doll, True Draco, Dinosaurs, World Chalice of all decks, on table 3 at the moment.
Well, we did see what the deck can do if it doesn't have those bad hands.
So, even though the deck is looking really promising right now in the feature match, Lightsworn Zombie Grass is like almost nowhere to be found among the top 30 tables, except for this. This is the only player with all the top 30 players that is playing, like top 30 tables, that is playing Lightsworn Zombie Grass.
I think we've just seen Ryan drawing another trap card for turn.
Dimensional Barrier.
Even if he chooses to set it, probably just going to be lost to the Tornado Dragon.
Yeah. He does have, he's got Reincarnation in the graveyard he can use.
Lilybell comes out, probably just going to be shut down by another snow effect.
Yeah, no hesitation there. Adrian is like, just see Ryan to the camera, he's like, nah, what can you do? Maybe he didn't want to play against that particular deck.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
He has been asking for a feature match since round 3, in fact.
Did he?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
We see Spirit Master and Solitaire again being banished, destroying a face-up card, and summoning back that Spirit Master. Each of those effects limited to 1 activation per turn, but being able to loop them on your turn and your opponent's turn just continues the cascade of resources even from the graveyard.
Yeah.
So yeah, Adrian has everything he needs and more to wrap things up here. Like we said, that left arm offering top deck wasn't exactly clutch. This was not the decision-making thing that happened, but he's got everything on the field, and with that snow, that is basically working overtime for him.
I've got a feeling that the Dragon Rulers are sat in the underworld right now watching the live stream thinking, graveyard advantage. We like this deck.
Yeah. I would not be surprised. Oh, is that a wolf mill?
Draws a card
Draw
for the
and
Minerva, summons the wolf, and then mills 3 more for Curious.
Oof. Or he does not.
Doesn't feel the need.
Yeah, not going to lie, that would be pretty weird if we got to the point where he just kept milling and milling and milling, and then Ryan was like, reincarnation, make you draw and lose? That would definitely be an epic streak
That
moment.
would be, yeah, unexpected conclusion to this game.
Yeah.
Is it even a legal activation to play reincarnation if there aren't sufficient cards in your opponent's deck for them to draw the correct number?
That is a good point. I would need to have a think about that one.
I think so, yeah. Because I don't see anything that speaks against it. They draw the same number of cards, so they just go, draw, and if they can't, they lose. So pretty straightforward in that regard.
I think
yeah,
if you have...
can't play Pot of Desires, though, if you've got one card. Well, 11 cards in deck.
If you only have 1 card, you cannot play Pot of Greed because you can't draw 2.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I never thought about that before.
I think there was a time when you could. Yeah, it's one of those Karauchis. And that is it. That is the Karauchi for Ryan Jacobs, who cannot advance to the top 32. This is where he met his master, Adrian Labrador Fonolassa. He was really having good grip on that game. Both games, actually. Let's talk about that in our post-match analysis. Yeah, so we saw Ryan Jacobs. His dream was getting crushed in that last Swiss round of the day. But congratulations to Adrian Labrador Fonolassa from Spain. We haven't seen Spain like top 32ing in a while, to be honest.
No.
The last time that a Spanish player was having some big success that I remember was Rodrigo Togores. And that is a little while back. I'm not sure if in between we had another player from Spain that was doing so well.
No, I can't think of any off the top of my head, honestly.
So, well done to him. He's representing his country with pride. Belgium, at least one of the Belgian players, Ryan Jacobs, is now out of the competition. He's not going to make it to the top 32. However, we said that during the match, there's a lot of different countries, of course, advancing to the top 32 and a lot of different decks.
Yeah.
It's shaping up quite nicely at the very top of the field.
Yeah.
Even if we were to see one deck dominating the top 32, it was a very diverse meta game over the course of these 2 days.
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
Certainly the decks that we've shown on the feature matches, we've had at least 10 or 12 different deck types coming up and really showing us what they can do.
Yeah, and even the same deck types that we may have had, we've seen drastically different versions.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to really go dig and search and find somebody with a creative deck. This was not the case this weekend.
Yeah.
We were constantly at tables 1 to 50, which in a field of almost 2,000 players was basically like the very creme de la creme. And even under those guys, among those guys, we constantly found really good decks. And lots and lots of mix and matching. We saw True Draco together with this, with that. Same with Lightsworn, same with Zombies. Like all of these decks did different puzzle pieces that fit together in any which way.
Yeah,
for me, it will
fantastic
be
Swiss rounds.
Very interesting to see the conversion rates once we get those top 32 decks locked in, seeing how it's changed from the entries to what's really performed this weekend.
Yeah, we're going to look at that once we have the top 32 card ready. In case, maybe we can talk a little bit more about that match, just because this segment is called post-match analysis. We feel like in a way there was not that much analysis to do. So, first game, Adrian went first.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly.
Yeah, bonkers field.
Exactly. Just completely goes
Sorry,
off.
it was the first time one of the limited times we saw Sarayuya being played, and we think to ourselves, "Wow, that was actually a pretty
That was really
clever."
good in hindsight.
Yeah,
I
putting
was
the Garnet back.
initially skeptical, but it really came through quite powerfully there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was very skeptical as well. I do think the one kind of diamond in the rough was the putting the Garnet back. I thought that was a cool usage of it.
It was. And he also had a Naturia Beast at the end of that first turn, if I remember correctly.
Yes, yeah, and that's the big difference to what we've seen in some other plays going towards the Link 4, is that it's great if it extends your combo, but it shouldn't be something to summon instead of your combo.
Yeah, and that was exactly what happened. It was also Omega, if I remember correctly, so he was able to pick apart Ryan's hand.
Yeah.
And Ryan had
double in fact.
Yeah, Ryan had like no interaction on that first game. Enters his turn. We actually said he could have like given up 5 minutes earlier.
Yeah. Well,
But yeah, so that was the first game, and then the second game, Ryan actually goes first. Does have some action with the Trickstar deck.
Yeah.
Has the Trickstar reincarnation, 2 of them in fact, that he can put face down. And if he had perfect information like we did, we said he just needs to go for Trickstar reincarnation as the very first thing that he does in his opponent's turn.
Yeah, I think it was a choice of one of those, kind of lines of plays where if your opponent didn't really have that much great stuff, you didn't want to give him a better hand, or maybe he was really focusing on the fact that, oh, if he does play grass, I'm going to chain it, and that'd be really, really good.
It would be.
Yeah, and sometimes you do end up. This is just a common thing that people wait and wait and wait for the perfect situation as opposed to the situation that's
good situation.
enough.
Yeah.
It's happening in a lot of games, not just Yu-Gi-Oh, not just TCGs, just in general. People wait and wait and wait until the perfect scenario.
It might not necessarily have been just a waiting game that Ryan was trying to play there. So we saw a fairly weak hand. For a Trickstar opening, there wasn't a huge amount going on. He may have been trying to play a bit of a mind game. The opponent, Adrian, knows that there's at least one reincarnation set. We saw Adrian's turn being altered a little bit. He set his cards before he made any commitment to the board. He may have been playing in fear of a Droll Lock Bird with reincarnation combo. So if Ryan sees this situation and he thinks, there's no way that I win a fair game, I need to convince my opponent not to activate any draw effects or any search effects for fear of losing their hands immediately, he may have been trying to bluff his way through to a turn 2 with some better options available.
It's also very true, different way of approaching that.
That's the beauty of Yu-Gi-Oh. There's so many different ways that you can think about things, and different play styles and that kind of thing.
All right. So guys, after these 11 rounds of Swiss with that many players, we're going to have the final standings up. The head judge, the scorekeeper is just going to print those out. And then players are going to have a little bit of time to just double check those final standings and make sure that that their rank is actually correct. So that is why we're going to have to take a little bit of a break right now. And then once we have the top 32 locked in, we can decide what decks to feature and continue from there, basically.
Yeah.
So having said all that, guys, we're going to take another break. We're going to see if we can actually find our winner, if he's speaking English. That's another thing that we're not sure about. So we might have an interview. Or alternatively, we're going to take a break, and then we're going to be back with the top 32 feature match of YCS Bochum.